Hi everyone, my name is Frances and we are here at my salon in Brea, California. This is my beautiful model, Stephanie. I am so excited because today we're going to be doing a blonde transformation using the No Ammonia Lightener. So let's get started. So today I'm going to be using the No Ammonia Lightener at a 1:2 ratio, and I'm using the No Ammonia Lightener today because our hair has been previously highlighted, so it has the built-in bond builder, and it's a great option for those guests that want no ammonia in their color. So I always start where the hair is the darkest. For her, it's in the back in the neck area. So we're going to be starting in the back, taking some chunkier sections. And as I work my way up, we are going to go finer with the section. So for now, this is my first section. I'm weaving it, but it's a pretty chunky weave. And since it's thicker, I'm going to do a slight back comb. And I do that so she has a lot of softness right here in through the roots. You want to get the brightest blonde, and if you have too thick of a section, it's going to take a long time to lift, and that can also create some blotchy areas. So I always tell stylists, keep your sections fine, make sure you can see through the foil, and I always like to move these hairs around just to make sure the underneath is also getting painted. So as I'm applying her color, I'm just applying in the areas that her hair is dark. Her hair has been previously highlighted, so we're not going to fully saturate through her ends. I'm just feathering down for now. And once this darker areas of her hair reach to her ends, then I will saturate all the way through. And so every time I foil, I always like to keep nice and flat sections. I never bend my foils. This is a great way to make sure that the hair lifts evenly. We avoid any blotchiness, and it also allows the lightener to just saturate fully and spread as it's lightening. So just a little pro tips for my stylist. We're gonna still be doing a little bit of back combing in through the root. Here I always just tease at the root area because I don't want to take any color away from her ends. Teasing right at the root just for softness. So as I'm working to the top of her crown, we're gonna be doing one last section where she has a chunkier weave. Another pro tip is obviously your saturation, but be very smooth with your application. So we're going to paint really smoothly and make everything very saturated. As I'm moving on to the top of her crown, I'm actually starting now to take wider sectioning. This is another way to make her hair lower maintenance. If you put too many foils back to back, it's going to be heavier. She's going to have a slight line of demarcation as it grows in. So I'm going to go about 1/2 inch apart for each section. And you can see my sectioning now is a lot finer. As I'm moving to the crown of her hair, I'm now going in with finer sections. The reason I do this is that it becomes low maintenance for my client. The finer the section I have in through the top, she's gonna have such a beautiful soft grow out with no hard line of demarcation. So I'm finishing up the last 2 foils on this side, and Stephanie's hair is great because she has a lot of density, so I can actually really spread out her foils, and it's going to still give her a lot of coverage of the blonde. So we're moving on to the front of her hair. So for her hairline, I'm going to continue doing these baby lights, so that way when she pulls her hair back, she has a lot of lightness in through here. And what we're going to do is continue with my pattern where I take thicker sectioning in through the bottom and finer in through the top. But we're also going to go in and do a very thick front money piece, so she has that really bold front that really makes her blonde stand out. So at her hairline, I'm going to be doing just a little bit of a weave. This is just so that it looks soft when she pulls her hair in that ponytail. And what I'm going to do is take my foil and flip it back this way. This creates a lot of good tension. Has me more control of this section so it's not slipping and this foil's not slipping. So I'm gonna just paint away from her face. All right, moving on to her next section after this, I'm gonna continue with my pattern with my thicker, chunkier piece. And her hair in through here already has been previously highlighted, so I don't need to go through and run the color all the way through her ends. But since I am taking that thicker, chunkier piece, I'm gonna go back to teasing at the root for softness. Again, this is to avoid any hard lines. And she has about, in the front, about an inch of grow out, so we're gonna just touch that up. Tilt this way a little bit. About an inch of grow out just right in through here. She has a little bit of grow out right in through here, but right where I see her hair has been previously highlighted, I'm just gonna feather over that. So as I'm moving to the top of her crown, this is where her hair has been previously weaved. So we're gonna pick out some of her dark pieces. Those are the ones I do wanna highlight. And we wanna avoid the hair that's been previously highlighted. I don't wanna overlap, that way we don't create any damage to her hair. So what I'm doing is just picking them out with my comb. I'm using this extra foil just to hide and cover the previously highlighted hair. And that way I can just saturate her dark pieces. So this is her last section I'm doing that's going to be in that thicker, chunkier weave. And then the next few foils I have on her crown, which will be about 2 to 3 foils, we're going to go in and do that softer baby light. So this is going to really tie into her top crowning, having that really soft blend. I am moving on to her last side, which is her right side. So I'm going to continue at her hairline, doing those little baby lights and pulling this foil away from her face. And with this, so that the foil stays sturdy, I like to create a lot of tension. Pull those little hairs out of my way too. And we're going to paint away from the face too. Painting away from the face will just give you a little bit more control of the hair flying everywhere. Okay, so now I'm switching to, again, my chunkier foil, and we did about 5 sections of these on her left side, so I'm gonna go in and do 5 of the thicker sectioning on her right side until we get to her crown area, where we did about 3 sections of the finer baby light foil. As I'm continuing to move up, I like taking horizontal sectioning. I feel like when I do this, it covers a lot of ground. The only time I ever do diagonal back is around the hairline. As I'm moving up, I'm still using my horizontal sectionings. I always use horizontal. This is my preference because I feel like it just covers a lot of ground. And you can see I'm creating a lot of tension with my fingers in through here. I don't want to move any of the hair out of the way, but I'm feathering in through the top. But this tension I'm creating is allowing the hair not to move around. But as I'm painting throughout the rest of the hair, I'm gonna just saturate down so I can have a really nice clean application. I'm gonna be picking out these dark pieces. That way I'm protecting the hair that has been previously highlighted. So I have about 2 more sections. So I'm gonna do her chunkier piece, and then we're gonna move on and do the finer sections at the top of her crown. So we finished up her 5 foils that the sections were a little wider. So I'm moving on to just the last few top crown. On this left side, we had 3 foils that were slightly, just very softly weaved. So we're gonna go ahead and do the 3 foils on her right side. So for her hair, she's a natural level 5. I wanna get her to a level 8. And just a reminder with her hair, I'm using the No Ammonia Lightener at a 1:2 ratio with 30 volume. And the reason I chose 30 is because her hair is actually very thick and healthy. I know it can handle it. I also wanted to create a lot of lift, but knowing that it has a built-in bond builder, that it was going to protect her hair. All right, so I'm doing the last section, which is her front many pieces. I have about 1 inch wide sections already ready for me. So what I'm gonna do is to get these foils out of the way. I'm gonna fold them back. This is also for the comfort of the client as well. And so for her, I want to have that really bold front. So I'm going to actually take some very fine sections, very see-through. That way she has optimal lift. And for this first hairline piece, I still do that in a weave. That way it gets rid of all those little baby hairs, and when she pulls her hair back, it still looks soft. But once we skip to that next section, it's going to be in a slice. And I still like to place a foil on top. That way it's really conducting that heat from the foil. And it keeps that section nice and flat. So the next section I'm going to take into a slice, but it's still going to be very thin, because I always say the thinner the section, the better the lift. She has about an inch grow out. I can see where her previous highlights were. We're not going to touch those just yet. We're going to wait until this reaches to at least a level 8, preferably a 9, and then we'll run the lightener through. So for her money piece sections, I'm doing them back to back. I'm not worried about backcombing these sections because they're still going to be shadow rooted, and I want them really close to the scalp. Because of the width of this section I've set aside for her money pieces, we're going to do about 5 foils. So I'm on her last section for her money pieces. We have about 4 foils right now. This is going to be foil number 5. And I'm still taking that very fine section and keeping a lot of tension so it doesn't move around. But the reason I'm taking that fine section is so I can get the closest as possible to her root. I really want that money piece to start as high as possible, because when we shadow root her, we're just going to do a little bit of just a root tap. So it's going to lay really high. So we just finished foiling all of Stephanie's hair. I'm gonna keep checking her every 15 to 20 minutes. I'm aiming for a warm blonde, so we're gonna keep checking her foils until she reaches that perfect level 8. To prep her hair for toning, I'm going to be using the Kenra color Porosity Equalizing Spray. I love using this product because it allows me to achieve the most perfect and even tone. It also serves as a great detangler. For her money piece, we're still going to be using the Kenra Demi 5NUA as a root shadow, except I'm going to just do a light root tap in the bowl, and we're going to use the Kenra Demi 9PV equal parts with the 10V. Again, we're going to tone everything at the bowl because it's going to be very quick. I want to leave her money pieces as bright as possible. Okay, everyone, here is the final result. I am so excited. It's such a beautiful transformation. Perfect for summer, and this is great for your client who wants this kind of everyday look, so popular and most requested behind the chair. Do you love it, Stephanie?
I love it, of course.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more educational Kenra videos. See you next time.